All right, now that we have the surface prep completed, the next stage is going to be to do the installation. Now what we've done in this case is we've actually cut these panels to size, and this is something that we can actually do for you. If we know the manufacturer of the chute and the part number, we can actually have these panels cut to size for you, which can help save you some time and money. Now, as you can see, the panel will fit right into the wedge here. Now we want to keep about a ½ an inch or so off of the seam. There is a lot of contamination that can reside in that seam, and since we're going to be overlapping these pieces, we can go ahead and leave about a ½ inch off there, and we're going to be good. We're going to be fine. So we're probably going to come in about here. Also keep in mind, you don't have to cover 100% of the chute. You don't have to come all the way to here. You don't have to come all the way to the top. Packages are never going to touch those areas. So why go ahead and spend money in all these areas where it's really going to be no use? Okay, another area that we want to also keep an eye on is down here in the bottom corner. You'll see we have a very, very tight 90 degree. Okay, and then it kind of morphs into a radius. Okay, we really want to try to stay away from those tight 90 degrees. Now the piece that we're going to put into the bottom there, I've actually cut that out in order to stay away from that tight radius, because it's going to be very difficult for that adhesive to try to hold this material in place. This material will have some memory to it, because in most cases we're going with a 0.093 thick, or as possibly as thick as a 0.125. So it's going to be very tough for that adhesive to hold into that radius. So the best thing to do is just cut around that radius and just stay off of that altogether. Now when we go to do the installation, we're going to be working from the bottom up, because since we're going to be overlapping, you know, we can't put the piece here and then try to squeeze a piece underneath it. So you want to start at the bottom and work your way up from the top. The other thing we're going to do is, when you do the installation, you want to get the piece lined up properly, and then we're going to peel off a little bit of the liner, press this piece in place, and then we're going to slowly pull the liner back and work the piece down until we have the entire piece put into place. All right, now that we have the installation complete, we'll talk about a couple little pointers that you may want to take into consideration when you're doing the installation. Now keep in mind that if you have a chute like this that's seeing a lot of high wear, in most cases you could very easily wear a chute out like this in about a 5-year time. All right. The beauty of putting a liner in like this is that all you'll ever need to replace is pieces of UHMW. You'll never have to replace your entire chute again. So really we can help save you or your customer a significant amount of money long term by preventing them from having to replace their chutes. Now also keep in mind that these first two panels are going to see the most impact. This is where the packages are dropping into the chute, so there's going to see a lot of high wear. You might want to consider actually going to something a little bit thicker. Most of this chute is 0.93. You may want to consider going to maybe a 0.125 or 1/8 of an inch thick just in these top two panels. More often than not, these are the two panels that you're probably going to have to replace over a period of time. But again, they're very simple to replace. You can very easily pull these panels out, re-clean the surface if there's any residual adhesive, and you can just reinstall another piece very simply. One other thing that we would also like you to keep in mind when you're doing a chute like this is there is another tight 90-degree radius back up here in the corner, right here. Now we've actually cut the material in order to try to get it into that 90 degree. Okay, you can be a little creative as far as how you get it into that 90 degree. You can cut it yourself like we did. You can actually even put a couple pop rivets in there to help reinforce that to prevent it from lifting. If you do have a spot that lifts, you can very easily get it back down using something just as simple as super glue. Put a little bead of super glue on there, hold it down for a minute. That'll help hold it in place and prevent it from lifting up and becoming a catch point. Obviously, those are things that we have to be concerned about. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to start with these boxes that you saw earlier that were stopping about halfway down. As you can see, when we put them in the chute, again, dropping them in without any help whatsoever, they easily go down to the bottom of the chute without any effort whatsoever. Remember our bags? Remember, these didn't do well at all. But again, we drop the bag into the chute. And in the area that you really see a problem with this is when you're dealing with the distribution centers that handle clothing. A lot of the clothing, a t-shirt, a lot of these things are in poly bags. Flip-flops, shoes, these do not convey very well. Drop it into the chute, and you can see it goes down without any effort whatsoever. How about our little padded envelope? Again, these are a real challenge when you're dealing with light letters or things that are less than a pound. Again, this has nothing in it. A very simple padded envelope, drop it in the chute, goes down without any effort at all. You may remember there was the box that we sprayed down with water. And again, this is another problem that a lot of package distribution centers have, because sometimes you might have a situation where the humidity is very high or it's a rainy day. All right, this creates a serious problem when you're doing package delivery. And again, we've got this package totally soaked down with water. We're going to drop it into the chute with the STS. Goes down without any problem. Another opportunity is in airports, an airline baggage conveyor. A lot of airports have problems with not only chutes getting damaged, but also baggage getting damaged in the conveyor systems themselves. On a wet day at O'Hare Airport or Dallas Fort Worth, guess what? A lot of bags don't go down the chutes very well. So by, again, putting a UHMW Durasurf STS liner in there, you can put the baggage into the chute and they easily go down the chute without any problem whatsoever. One of the questions that we're frequently asked is, how well does label stock or stickers end up adhering to the STS? Because this is another big problem with package distribution and in chutes. A lot of the label stock or the delivery labels, they come off, they stick in the chutes, and it creates kind of a mess. Well, what we've done is we've actually taken just a very light padded envelope with we actually put the sticky side of the tape on the outside to represent a label. And as you can see, when we put the envelope in, again, the tape is not able to stick to the Durasurf STS. All right, so let's sum up what we learned today. In chutes such as this, which you see in a lot of package distribution centers, there are a number of issues that have to be resolved. One is the constant spraying of chute lubricant. This isn't only a cost in material, but a cost in labor. These chutes typically have to be sprayed every day, okay? You also have significant wear factors that take place in a lot of these chutes. As I said earlier, a chute like this in a heavy package distribution center might last 5 to 7 years. By implementing the Durasurf STS, not only do you eliminate the cost of the chute lubricant, but you save all the time and the labor of having to implement this spraying of the product every day. But in addition to that, we can help you save and extend the life of your chutes, because you may occasionally replace a UHMW panel, but you're not going to replace your whole chute. So there's some significant cost savings that we can implement there. Also keep in mind that since this product is put down with an adhesive backing and there's no fasteners, there's really no damage that the product can do to your product, especially if you're dealing in distribution of clothing, because a lot of times bolts and so forth can potentially snag clothing. So all of that is completely removed here. So not only are we going to save you time and money, we can also help extend the life of your equipment. If there's another application that you would like to see featured on Make It Stick, please feel free to contact me at pete@crownplastics.com, or you can call us at 800-368-0238. or come and visit us at www.crownplastics.com, where you can see a whole host of videos and training that we have available on our site. Until then, this is Pete Ellerhorst from Crown Plastics, and we'll see you again soon.